It's a new season, a new chapter. New pages of racing history virtually are about to be written, and it starts at the Virtual World Center of Racing, Daytona International Speedway. LSRTV and CRN Sports welcome you to coverage of the Nicole Bryan Photos 225-ish, presented by LSRTV, the opening race in Season 2 of the Northwest iRacing Cup Series. Good evening. I am Wesley Outland from Clayton, North Kakalaki. That's North Carolina, if you didn't know. Join me up in Spokane, Washington. The first state was New Jersey. It's Delaware. It's Greg Rance from Spokane, Washington. And also in the Commonwealth of Virginia, it is our buddy, driver analyst, Joshua Altus. And running the boards in good old happy Lone Star State of Texas from Wichita Falls is Charles Wooten. Gentlemen, the duels, they were wild last week. The stage is set. The field is set. A quick practice session. And then these drivers are going to go 225 miles, 90 laps around the World Center of Racing. Greg, welcome to a new year.
A new year indeed, and now we know why Wesley's a racing announcer, because obviously he failed geography and history on that one. As we get set for a great race here at Daytona, the duels last week were awesome. A little bit of a delayed reaction there, but hey, it works out anyway. But looking forward to this. Plate racing always has been so much fun here on the iRacing server, especially with the Northwest Racing Series. We saw a surprise winner in this race last year. Corey Walters, his only Cup Series victory of the season, came in this race last year. Wesley, a lot of drivers made their debuts last year in this series. A lot of them are back for this one. Will we see another first-time winner here this season tonight? Or will we see some of the old reliable names that we got so used to calling up at the front in the second half of the season? Will they work their way up? We got a long way to find out, though. Looking forward to watching how this one unfolds.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And also joining us again is driver analyst Joshua Altus, a former winner here at Daytona in the S&B Cup Series. And Joshua, this is now the duels. You were with me last week. That was pretty crazy, pretty wild. We saw a fairly clean and green duel 1. Duel 2 was calamity in every corner, it seemed like. Now these drivers have to batten down the hatches and get ready for the real deal. And this is also the most important thing. Points are on the line to open up the year.
Yeah, absolutely, Wesley. It's great to be with you guys again in the booth. Had so much fun calling the duels with you guys last week. And, man, I think we're in for a great race tonight. I'll tell you, I've got my eye on Sean Breitzman. He's the defending series champion. He's the pole sitter. He won Duel 1. Can he cap it off with a Daytona win? Until anyone else can get up there and show me that they're as strong as him, my money's on Breitzman.
Let's take a look at the Race On's 4-on-1 race information calendar down below the bottom right. The bottom left, if you will. And it is a 30-minute practice session that has already concluded. Drivers are currently right now going through the vigorous drivers meeting and 2-lap qualifying. Ixnay on that. They ran qualifying and duels last week. And I know it says 90-lap duels. No. Not 90 laps. We're not running two 90-lap races. It says oops on it. He literally changed it to oops, and he put 90 laps. You saw that in real time, everybody. 225-ish miles, 90 laps is the distance. And I think, Greg, me and you calculated 90 laps is like 237.5 miles, correct?
I believe that's the math we came up, but then again, that's announcer math right there. And I want to take this opportunity to point something out to Josh here, in case you guys were always wondering what it is that we're always talking about that our producer likes to mess with us. You just saw one of them right. That's what we deal with on a nightly basis in the production truck. So, Josh, welcome to the team, because this is something we deal with quite frequently.
Yeah, I learned last week that our producer likes to talk in our ear and crack some jokes, so I can kind of see some of the behind the scenes you guys have to put up with now.
Gentlemen, I don't mean to break your hearts, but everybody is wrong. 225 miles divided by 2.5, which is a 2.5-mile track here at Daytona, is exactly 90 laps.
Well, there you go.
So they did have it correct. We were wrong. So it's not the 225-ish. It is the 225. So go ahead, Charles, and put your oops on that as well. Let's take a look at the Saw Blade weather conditions. Hopefully they are not wrong. Partly cloudy skies, sunshine right now, 72 degrees virtually, 6-mile-per-hour wind, track temp at 84. Greg, what's it going to be like on those cars today?
Well, Wesley, I'm thinking we're going to see a lot of slipping and sliding around, especially at the later stages of the run once those tires get worn out. Now, remember, this series, new this year, there is tire limits to the series this year. 4 sets of tires in the race tonight. That's 3 on pit road, plus the 4 Goodyear tires that you start the race on. So, with that said, this is going to add in a wrinkle of strategy that we have not seen in the Northwest Cup Series, because all last year we saw unlimited tire sets on all the cars. Not the case this year with the tire limits. Moving forward, looks like we're going to be doing that more often. So this is going to be very interesting, Wesley, to see how that goes with the tire strategy coming into play. Something these drivers have never had to think about before. And here's the thing, the tire save strategy, that I believe might benefit some of those drivers that race in the Northwest Tour Super Late Model Series on a normal basis, because they're used to not being able to change tires at all. They know how to save tires, and with tire management now becoming a key role in this race, this is going to add a whole new wrinkle to that race.
Looking to get into producing or announcing? Message us on Facebook or at livesimracingtv.com for more information. Joshua, you want to elaborate more on what Greg was talking about as a driver analyst?
Yeah, for sure. You know, here at Daytona, I don't think the tires are going to come that much into play just because it's a super speedway. Obviously, as these guys visit different tracks around the country, virtually, you know, 1.5 mile short tracks, that's definitely going to come into play, being able to save your tires, manage your tires when you put those tires on. Here, you know, you kind of look at strategy almost at, you know, depending on if the race goes green or not. I know my guys, you know, my teammates and I at MP Motorsports, we took several 2-tire stops, even no tire stops. And really the only thing you got to be careful of if you don't take those 4 tires is watching that tire spin coming, you know, coming off the apron back onto the racing surface. Can definitely be a little slippery if you're on older tires, but that's really all you need to really look out for. I don't think they make a huge difference within the racing, but hey, as a driver, I'll always take 4 over 2 or none. But I think this is going to be more all about just putting yourself in position, trying to get that clean air early, and definitely trying to stay out of trouble, making sure you don't get caught up in the big one too early.
And again, currently the drivers' meeting is underway. You see the missiles and those virtual kaleidoscope of colors all nestled down. 43 cars strong down on the midsection of pit lane, ready to go inside their pit stalls to go behind the toe of the iRacing pace car. And ready to see Barney, virtually the flagman, right there. There you see him. He's got that green flag already in his hand, ready to unfurl to the field for this 225-mile, 90-lap contest here around Daytona. Greg, you called the truck duels with me on Wednesday night. By the way, the Daytona 225 to open up the season points for Season 8 of the trucks is on Wednesday night. That's right, Wednesday night, same time here as tonight, 11:30 Eastern time on LSRTV and CRN Sports. But Greg, we saw some crazy truck race duels last Wednesday. And, you know, the cars and the trucks, similarities, differences, what is it going to be like for a long race like this event today?
Well, both races here tonight and coming up on Wednesday night with the trucks, you're going to see patience be the key. But this one, the cars are more aero sensitive than the trucks, I've noticed over the times that we've gotten the call, both the cup cars and the trucks. These cars, very, very aero dependent. The trucks, they can get a little bit of damage, not a whole lot. These cars, if you have the slightest tug or the slightest scuff of damage, that could be a long night here tonight. So we are going to be looking very, very forward to watching this race unfold. The duels were interesting, to say the least. We saw quite a bit happen, and we saw some tempers flaring as well in the fallout of that race as well. And that's just the duels. That's not even what's about to happen here tonight. This is going to be a very, very interesting race here, Wesley, excuse me, as I was thinking about Charles in the booth down there, wondering what kind of taco wings he's having down there. And no doubt Corey Waltz, defending race winner who had Hooters on board last year, no doubt he's going to be looking for back-to-back here on this one. But as far as this race tonight, aero sensitivity going to be a big key. Looking forward to seeing how it unfolds.
Yeah, again, the following is a presentation of LSRTV to Rocket Media to the Northwest iRacing Cup Series. On tonight's broadcast, solely for the private, non-commercial use of our listening audience, any publication, reproduction, retransmission without the express written consent of Jeff Stapp, Charles Wooten, Rocket Media LLC, and the Northwest iRacing Cup Series is restricted and prohibited. So remember, we are looking forward to this one. It's going to be a good one, and again, we do appreciate you watching. So try to follow the rules. Don't try to steal our content. Often imitated, never duplicated, but we are ready to go. Daytona very soon. They will get ready to hit the racetrack for 225 miles, 90 laps. Joshua, give us a lap around Daytona, buddy, as a driver analyst. What is it like to go around Daytona? Obviously, you got to paint a picture because the cars aren't on the racetrack, but we'll do that later. But what's it like visually, in the driver cockpit, getting ready to go on this racetrack here at Daytona?
What, Wesley? I don't care.
By the way, ixnay on that. 9 yet, 9 not happening. Checkered flag is waving, and the field is getting ready to hit the racetrack here in just a moment. So actually, we will be able to do a virtual ride-along with the driver here with Joshua Altus very, very soon. But with that being said, the field is getting ready to get gridded. It is open, and the interstate synthetic duels last Monday night for Season 2 of the Northwest iRacing Cup Series. The ComServe Wireless starting lineup is ready to go, and it's looking like this on the pole by virtue of fast qualifier last Monday night, and the defending champion, the number 46 out of Tucson, Arizona, Sean Reitzman, to his outside. Fast qualifier second in the duels last Monday night, Lake Peterson in the 09. Row number 2 will find Dan West Jr., the Truck Series champion, in the 55, to his outside, Ricky Bozier in 42. Row number 3 is the field begins to roll. Tyler King in 21, Caden Anderson in 37. Row 4 will find Corey Walters, the defending Daytona winner, to his outside, Devin West in 5. Row number 5 to round out the top 10, Timothy Connell and Ryan Maines in the 13.
Newcomer to the series will be the number 71 of Aaron Cooper, starting in 11th, with Briar Reynolds, who was near the top of the board in practice near the end of the session, starting 12th. Martin Tomic, another new driver to the series, with John Ottenbacher. He won the truck race here last spring. Stephen Paulson, speaking of the trucks, he was a Final Four in this race last year. It was Seth Frazier, other Final Four in the Cup Series. Paulson was a Final Four in the Truck Series. James Thurston had a couple good runs, including the top 3 at Talladega, a track very similar to this. Ray Fournier, a truck dual winner, in 18th. Taylor Larson and Stephen O'Hare rounding out the top 20.
And you see the rest of the rundown real quickly. Row 11, Raz and Lowther. Beatty, Harris. Row 13, make it quicker, going to be Rogers and Daggett. Row 14 will find Stabnow and Cheney. Row 15, your top 30, is going to find 18 and Denny, Brock Denny, the truck winner the other night. And the rest of the field will scroll down there. You see it. Christopher White, Tidrick, Marcy, Weaver, Tidrick. Row 20 coming up, Vining, Rogers, and it's going to be Garber, Mann, back of the pack, Smith. And there you go. The starting lineup is set. Ladies and gentlemen, ready for the Season 2 of the Northwest Racing Cup Series. 225 miles, 90 laps. Welcome to a new year. Green is out. Virtual Daytona. We are kicking the asphalt from the virtual World Center of Racing. Ladies and gentlemen, you have a virtual race. The season is underway, and 43 charter members of the Fraternal Order of Virtual Go Fast. Giddy up and gallop up the high banks, Greg, into turn 1 on lap 2.
Noticing the inside line seems to be where you want to be, and we saw that in the duels as well, Wesley. Brightsman leading the way there on the bottom. That's twice I've done that so far for those keeping track here in the chat. Dan West Jr., the two champions from last year, tucked right up there with each other, 1-2 right now. Brightsman this series, the Cup Series. West Jr., the Truck Series champion. They each led their respective series in wins as well. Here they are, 1-2, with a newcomer up behind them right now. How about Corey Walters, of course, behind them, but Lake Peterson, the 09, made a couple of starts at the end of the year last year, showed a lot of speed. He's in that Crown Royal number 09 right now, got a 13 on board, but he's number 09 on the ticker. He's been very impressive in his limited starts in this series, Wesley. I'm looking for him to make some big moves tonight, and here he is up in the top 10 early.
All right, Joshua, Sean Brightsman, we're going to go on board with him. He's the man out in front. They're coming down the back straightaway. And as they work their way with Dan West Jr. right behind him, I want you to give us a lap as a driver that is won here virtually at Daytona. Here you come through the tri-oval out of turn 4. What's it like inside the cockpit?
Yeah, right now, Brightsman's exactly where he wants to be as we cross the start-finish line right here. He's going to just hug that yellow line, paint that yellow line, as we like to call it, right on the bottom. He's got the 55 behind him, kind of checking his mirror here, kind of maintaining the gap. Again, just hugging this line. Real nice and easy right now, pretty calm in the race. Doesn't have to worry about anyone on his outside. Again, looks up in his mirror, squares up the 55. He's going to get a little push here. Still right on that yellow line, not giving any room for anybody to come through. Getting ready to dive into turn 3 here. And you can see this whole time, he's just staying right on that yellow line, holding a nice, pretty wheel. Again, managing your gap, looking in your mirror, coming off of turn 4 here, right back on that yellow line, coming through the tri-oval, and that is 1 lap around Daytona International Speedway.
And you've been on board with Sean Brightsman. That's Joshua Altus again from Virginia, a former winner here at Daytona in the S&P Cup Series. And right now, single file down to the bottom of the racetrack. Sean Brightsman behind them. Greg Rentz, they are 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 at full speed down the back straightaway.
But look at the outside lane, Wesley's beginning to come to him as I had the wrong car on my in sight there. That's Lake Peterson hooked up on the outside with Tyler King right there. That is the 09 car, Peterson. The 13 is a new look of Ryan Maines in that Crown Royal car, but the outside lane seems to really be coming to in the corners. And here we go. Now we got a couple of cars hooked up on the outside lane, 6 to be exact. As Tyler King, new number, going to take a little bit of time to get used to Tyler King being in the 21 car, but he's leading the charge on the outside. And Wesley, remember from last year, so many times we thought it's tonight the night Tyler King gets that first win. Never broke through for that win, but several strong runs. Here he is leading the charge up front. He's got his teammate Stephen O'Hare mired deep in the field right now in the 41. So right now, King, he's kind of having to do it by himself, and he's having to get help from whoever he can. Lake Peterson's hooked up with him on the outside right now. A little bit of space back before you find Paulison in the number 58, who has some help from behind with Martin Tolmick in the 79. So right now, the inside lane seems to be the preferred lane, but Tyler King is getting right up to the door of Brightsman, tries to side draft a little bit there, and he's going to get the nose in front. So Tyler King is going to edge his way to the front. Question is, though, can he get down inside? The answer is no. Brightsman fights back.
You see the screen ticker on the top left. You see the top 20 in real time. And then below that, it randomly continues to show your top 21 through 43 positions randomly changing. As again, top 20 will be showed. Got a couple of cars getting loose there for just a moment, and we got
trouble.
One, Bozer on top of the wall. He's on top of the virtual wall barrier. Walters, the Daytona winners in the grass from last year. Dan West Jr., Walters' front nose all tore up. Couple of other cars involved. Devin West is collected. And here is your replay for the first caution of the season and what happened in turn 3.
A look at what transpired here. Oh, something happened
Walters.
to the 55.
It looks
Something
like the
happened to
55
and
just
he checked up.
man.
Yeah.
Blew up.
Not sure what happened there. Now, these guys run a fixed setup, so qualifying tape usually not an issue here in the Cup Series, but the way that looked, that's what it almost looked like they left the Q-tape on. I would be surprised if that is the case, though. We'll have to take another look. Let's see it from the perspective of the 55, because, again, watch going into turn 3, Josh. You saw it right there. It just blew up.
Yeah, you just see like a puff of smoke come out of nowhere as they go down in the corner. It didn't look like there was too much contact or what.
How about Ricky Bozier, Joshua, riding the safer wall barrier?
Hey, at that point, when cars are wrecking all around you, you're just doing whatever you can to get through there. But that's a tough break for a lot of these guys. You know, this early in the race, you really don't want to be having to rely on that fast repair. That's what we're riding on board here. But yeah, there's nothing you can do as a driver. That happened to me at Talladega earlier this season. My teammate Cody Terry blew up in front of me, and it happened so fast, and you just really don't have any time to react.
Look at the wheeling and dealing and steering and winning and grinning on Dan West Jr. Something rattling on the RPMs. You see the motor, the engine, if you will, all of a sudden drop down to 300. And yeah, there is some problem on the number 55 machine. We'll have to find out.
I'm wondering if we can go back and look at his end car. I'm interested to see if his RPMs are blinking red or not. You know, there's generally when your tack is blinking red and you're getting hot, then that normally leads to a sign of blowing up. But like I said, I didn't think there was any blinking red there. So very interesting this early in the race that he'd have that problem.
And there you see Corey Walsh, the Napa number 9 machine, the defending winner here at Daytona last year, all tore up on the front nose. We'll rack them, restack them, and we will go again here under caution after a multi-car crash just underway. And there you see some of the other cars. There's Scott Mann, Tyler King, Big Bird, Eric Cheney right now in third. John Breitzman falling back to 4th. Ryan Reynolds, your top 5. Beatty, Walters, Tomlick, Paulus, and Connell in the top 10. Greg, is it unusual to see the caution flag in a big race like this just 10 laps in?
Unusual overall, no, because, I mean, it's Daytona after all. You're going to see jockeying for position. You're going to see cautions. But to have a blown motor like that in the first 10 minutes, that is where the unusualness comes into this one. Definitely would not have assumed that the first caution today would come as a result of a car blowing a motor in the early stages of the race. So that part, I'm going to say, would be the unusual aspect of it. And you got several contenders in this race who already have had to use that fast repair as a result of it. And now they're going to have to go 80 laps with no fast repair. And Josh, maybe you can give a little more perspective on this. When you're in that situation, I know the S&B series does not have fast repairs. But when you're in a situation where you have a fast repair available, but you have to use it that early, what does that do mentally to have you think, okay, now I have to be conservative for a while? What does that do to the psyche of a driver knowing that now they have to go conservative for a while?
Yeah, we actually do have one fast repair in the S&B series, but yeah, you hate to be in that position that early. Obviously, I like to use my fast repair as kind of a safety net, where if something happens late in the race, you've still got a shot to come in, fix your car, you can go back out there. But man, yeah, you just hate to lose that. That's kind of like your only tool in your tool chest, so to say, and to have to break that out that early, you're really going to have to be conservative here to try to make it to the end of the race. So I'm looking for those guys who got caught up in this accident to just kind of maybe fall to the back, just try to turn some laps and, work on surviving right now.
Work on survival for sure as we get ready for the first restart. This time by the pace car, lights are off. And the pace car will accelerate and drop back down onto the pit lane. The field will make their way back inside the Geico restart zone with man on the front row to the inside. Green flag going back in the air. Back to speed through the gearboxes. Virtually they go. And man ready to bring the cavalry to speed, Greg. Back to turn one.
Got man able to break away from the pack early, but Brightsman tucking right up. And notice now what Brightsman's doing. Brightsman definitely learned what happened with West with the motor blown, and he is trying to keep nose cool. I'm wondering if that is indeed what happened on the 55, just tucked behind the 46 for too long and the temperatures got too high on that 55 car, as Brightsman tucked up now behind man. Now here's the question: as sparks fly, we got problems deep in the field. We got another incident going on, and it's Ottenbacher.
Wow!
Oh man,
Bruce Lee Weaver. No caution yet. This is all happening below the racing surface. We stay green for the time being.
Oh, they got to throw a caution. They got to throw a caution.
There are drivers
they gotta throw a caution
on the track, but we are still green at this moment.
They're scattered everywhere.
How in the world did they not throw a caution? They are literally scattered like M&Ms all over the racetrack from the bottom of the grass to the top of the pavement. No caution.
That's because all the actual accident was below the yellow line. That is the iRacing server right there. This is the battle for the lead. We are back live. As you see, Brightsman went up to the outside, had nothing up top as far as help goes, and he's going to get shuffled to the back. Man's leading the way. He's got Beatty Hook with him now in the number 70. Paulison, Truck Series Final Four last year. Brightsman's going to get shuffled all the way back to the tail end of this one. Look out, you got a couple Team Ramrod drivers hooked up now here in the top 5. Eric and Dan Lowther trying to get around Brightsman.
And right now, man, having probably the biggest run of his life right now out in front in that number 90 machine. We'll keep an eye on what he can do, as right now he is setting the bar. As they work their way back the racetrack, 43 cars taking the green flag. Scott Mann out of Red Deer, Albert. Oh, I'm sorry, let me start over. Red Deer, Alberta, Canada, the number 90. He's the one that's out in front right now. As you see them work their way across into turn one. Bryce Beatty also, Greg, a good run for him. Stephen Paulison, could this be a good year for him? He's in third as they hit in the back straightaway.
Paulison was so impressive in the truck playoffs, Wesley, making it through to the Final Four. Notice he still has that playoff banner on the spoiler of that 58 car, showing that he was in the Cup Series playoffs as well, that third car in line right now. But I'm impressed with what Brightsman's been able to do so far by himself on the outside. He's been able to side draft with everybody to try to keep his momentum up there. Still no one going up top to help with him yet, but he might be able to fall in here pretty quickly if Cheney has enough, or if he has enough room between himself and Cheney. But here comes Cheney up right there. He's going to close that door. But Brightsman, I'm very impressed with what he's been able to do on the outside here.
And Greg, that's the sign that you've got a really good car this early. Brightsman's out there on his own, as you just alluded to. Looks like the 58's going to jump up in front of him here, maybe give him some help. But you have a strong car when you can run out there by yourself and stay with the pack. Not only stay with the pack, but he's actually passing guys on the outside as the 58 jumps up in front of him here. Let's see if they can go to the lead on the top.
Underway here at Daytona. We are currently 15 laps in. A long way to go. 90 is the distance for 225 miles. Man from Canada leads the way. Your Saw Blade top 5 on the bottom left. As you check them out, we're going to go side by side. You don't miss a thing. Coverage from virtual Daytona when we return for the Northwest Cup Series on LSRTV.
I promise to follow through.
I promise to repair or replace your product.
I promise to get your optics back to you as soon as possible.
A promise is the foundation of our business. We call it the VIP warranty, the very important promise. It's unlimited, unconditional, and lifetime. No matter what the problem is, no matter how the problem occurred, no matter how old the product is, if it says Vortex Optics on it, we will repair or replace your product at no cost to you. Maybe it was an accident, maybe it was your fault, or even your dog's. No matter what happens, we've got you covered.
It's simple. There's no product registration, no receipts to hang on to. Just grab a box, fill out a form, ship us your product. No hassle, no questions asked.
We stand behind the quality and performance of our products, and our commitment to you extends far beyond the initial purchase. I promise.
Back here at Daytona. Boy, oh boy, a good one so far. And that pack all bunched up with each other. Down the back straightaway at the super stretch into 3. Brightsman, defending champion, up the racetrack. And now Stephen Paulus and Greg Rentz wants to lick his chops and have an opportunity to be in P1 of 4.
Paulson has been very strong all season long last year, but never got that breakthrough win. He's finally going to lead a lap, but Wesley, the connection issues are beginning to make their way into the field now. Caden Anderson, he just dropped out from the session. That, remember, the iRacing version of motor problems. We've talked about that a couple of times in different races throughout the series. Caden Anderson, and that's unusual because Anderson usually has a pretty strong connection, and it just dropped through. A couple other drivers now have backed out. John Ottenbacher backing out. Aaron Cooper, the rookie, backing out. 3 drivers now in the matter of laps have backed out from the session, and Anderson was unintentional as they come up on some lap traffic right now. Scott Mann making a move to the outside here, so wondering how that's going to affect this race moving forward.
And Greg,
Joshua, what is that like, keeping an eye on that, bud? We go about 20 laps in next time by.
Yeah, I was just about to say, Wesley, you know, you and I called the duels together last week, and you know, we were kind of at a similar position where this front pack kind of broke away after an early accident, and we were thinking they were just going to ride, but we saw another accident in the duel, so I'm just interested to kind of see what this pack's going to do. It looks like most of them are pretty content to line up on the bottom and ride around, but I'm just keeping my eye on that 46 Bridesman. To me, he does not want to ride. He wants to be up front. He wants to lead this pack, and he's trying hard on the top right now. I look for him to try to get to the lead and then drop to the bottom and continue leading this pack.
20 laps into this 90-lap event, 70 laps to go in the Daytona 225. And again, well, we had one up in the wall there. Keep an eye on that. Black car. I want to say that might have been Mann, actually, losing ground. No, Mann's right behind Paulison. So a nice save there. Well, we'll keep in check on it. But anyhow, there they go to the back straightaway. And Paulison now holding on to the lead. Mann in second. There's Bridesman. Bridesman's got Bryce Beatty there, along with Taylor Larson. Larson won at Vegas yesterday, and Kyle Larson. Right now, Taylor Larson in the top 5 as they work their way back to the tribal, Greg.
And Larson, one of those guys making his debut here tonight, up in the top 5 already after starting 19th. Great effort so far out of the number 98, trying to show why he is in the series this year and show that he's going to be a guy to keep in the mix. Another one making his debut in the 003, one of those triple-digit numbers, Timothy Connell in the number 003. He's fourth in line on the bottom as we get set to try to flick away laps. Connell up in the sixth spot right now.
And Greg, you talking about Larson.
Way back. Go ahead, Joshua.
Sorry there, Wesley. No, I was just going to say, with you talk about Larson there, that's a pretty good guy to fall in line behind, don't you think, that 46 car?
Oh, yeah, definitely. They fan around,
watching them work their way back the racetrack into turn number 1 and 2 with Paulison now, the man out in front. Man in second, Beatty third. Brightsman, the defending series champion, changing his colors on his car and all. From Tucson, Arizona, originally from up around your neck of the woods in Spokane, Washington. Moving up now up the racetrack. There you see, actually from Puyallup, Washington is actually where it's originally from. Down
other
to the
side
inside.
of the state, yeah. Yeah, Puyallup's on the other side of the state from Spokane.
Yes. Paulison back across the line. We're going to watch Brightsman there. He's starting to fall back and lose a couple of spots, though, Greg, as they go back into turn 1, and I think the leaders are overtaking lap traffic. I can't believe this. I can't believe I'm saying this.
They've been trying to slice their way through traffic for the last few laps as we're seeing guys from that incident that amazingly did not trigger a yellow. While we were on that side-by-side, we were talking about how we were still just shocked beyond words that we didn't trigger a caution. And Josh, I mean, you said it. There was probably a good 20 cars involved in that incident up there in turn 3, and it was amazing that there was no caution.
Yeah, there's nothing more frustrating as a driver if you get caught up in something, or even if you don't get caught up in it, but you get on the brakes and slow down and there's no caution. You just lose all your momentum. Now, you know, most of these guys have lost the lead pack, but you just have to, you know, kind of settle back in, try to, you know, find some drafting help as much as you can and try to wait it out, turn some laps. And I'm sure we'll get another caution at some point, but it's definitely frustrating as a driver when, you know, you feel like you see an incident and it should have been a caution, and that yellow flag never comes out.
About to be a quarter of the way through here. He is Joshua Alt, Greg Ransom, Wesley Outland, Rocket Media, LSRTV, and Charles Wooten in the production chair. And right now, the man up 14 spots, Stephen Paulison, is the man that leads the way to the Jim Beam, number 58. And by the way, gentlemen, it's daytime for the Daytona 225 tonight. It is not under the lights at night like last week's duels were.
Daytime shining. Track temp has gone down a little bit. I'm kind of surprised it's gone down. It's down to 82. It was hovering in the high 80s here earlier in the day before we went green. It's actually gone down. I'm a little surprised that it's gone down as we click laps away. Josh, what's that doing to the racetrack from the driver's perspective when it drops down? It was hovering around 87, 88 when we took the green flag, down to 82 now. So what's that doing to these cars as this run progresses?
Yeah, generally, Greg, if the track is starting to cool down, it generally means more grip for these cars. The hotter the racetrack it is, the more slick it is. So, you know, these guys like a cooler track. You've got a little bit more grip. You can make a little bit more, I like to call them kind of daring moves back and forth without, you know, worry about sliding the tires too much or anything like that. So, you know, a lot of these guys really enjoy Daytona at night just because that's the maximum amount of grip. But with the track cooling down, these guys, you know, it'll probably just do more for their favor to make some daring moves later on in the race.
Just past 25 lap here in the Daytona 225. Still a long way to go. Let's give you your full field rundown as it stands right now. Stephen Paulison is the leader. Scott Mann in second. Greg in front of a time and scoring monitor. Bryce Beatty third. Sean Brightsman fourth. Timothy Connell is fifth. Martin Tomlik sixth. Taylor Larson is seventh. Cheney is eighth. Dan Lowther is ninth. And Joshua Marcy, your top 10.
Tucked in right behind Marcy in the in and out Chevy is the number 00 of Evan Smith, looking for a strong second half or second season, I should say. He's got Bill Ross Jr. behind him, leading the second pack of cars in that 17. Included in that group is Christopher White, Casey Garber, Cole Raz in the number 10, making his way forward. James Thurston, Chris Torres, Seth Frazier, Troy Daggett, Robert Gamble, rounding out the top 20. Gamble, the biggest mover of the race so far, up 23 positions, Josh.
Yeah, he's doing a great job moving up from the back and just riding around right now. Like I said, we got a battle for the lead up front.
The lead, Paulison trying to fend off man with a big blink off of turn number 2, and Wesley, more and more connection issues beginning to plague this field as man going for the lead on the outside, and it happens right there. And I believe we just lost one of our own up here with connection
We're
issues.
having all kinds of connection issues tonight, Greg.
Wesley just had connection issues as well. He just dropped out right as I said that. So looks like for the time being, Josh, it's me and you. What are you seeing out here in this battle here as man with a little bit of a blink? What does that do for Brightsman also when you're pushing there?
Yeah, I was just about to say, Greg, as the 46 car Brightsman, I've had that before where you're pushing a guy. I actually had it at Talladega this past season with us where I was pushing the number 52 of Jacob Grant, and he blinked out, and it's so scary because you don't know if he's going to reappear right into you or where he's going to go. So it's definitely a little nerve-wracking when you got a guy blinking in front of you just because, you don't want anything crazy to happen to him to reappear right where you are and for some reason wreck you or cause you some damage. But Brightsman doesn't look like he's afraid of it right now as he's all over the back of that number 90 trying to shove him to the lead.
Got Wesley back in the tower. Scott Mann with a little bit of a blink, but he makes the pass. And they almost get together as they try to make their way around lap traffic. Believe that was one of the Caden Anderson cars. Brock Denny into number 64. Top 4 now breaking away before you find the Team 0 entry of Timothy Connell. Hooked up with Martin Tolnick right now. 2 drivers making their debuts here in the Northwest Cup Series, running 5th and 6th right now. Wesley, very surprising run. You got 3 drivers who are making their debuts in the Cup Series, running in the top 10 right now.
And doing really, really good is now Scott Mann will jump back out there in P1 from Canada. The number 90 machine tucks down below the yellow line, right close to it, along with Paulison behind him, Bryce Beatty, Sean Brightsman, Connell, Tomlick, Larson. Joshua, do you just ride right now? That's the nicest way of saying it. Just like the 500 after the rain delay for real a couple of weeks ago at Daytona when Michael McDowell won. Do you literally just ride? Do you just stay in position, hold your line, go through the moves, the ways of green flag pit stops, and then get ready to bring it to the finish?
Yeah, I think that's the smart thing to do, obviously, Wesley. You're kind of in a place right now where you've separated yourself from the main pack. We had some incidents early. We had a incident that we thought should have brought out a caution, but it didn't, which really separated the field. And, yeah, if I'm in this front pack, I'm pretty content just riding right now. I know the 46 of Brightsman, he's been working that top a couple times. He's pushed a couple different guys to the front. In a smaller pack, you can kind of get away with practicing some runs. If you're toward, the middle of the pack, and you want to jump out just to kind of see what your car can do. Maybe kind of time your runs just to kind of practice for stuff later in the race. But no need to be too aggressive at this point.
Greg, what do you think?
Kind of curious how this race is going to unfold right now, Wesley, because we keep seeing drivers park it behind the wall, and drivers that we thought were going to contend for the win in this one. Devin West in the 5, he's out of the race. Bruce Lee Weaver, remember Talladega last fall to get into the playoffs, that final push for the playoffs? Bruce Lee Weaver was in a must-win situation, threw the Hail Mary up at the front all day, but unfortunately wasn't able to work out in his favor. He's done for the day. Ryan Maines was qualified up near the front after finishing strong in his duel. He's out of the race. Man, honestly, this is by no means the way we expected this race to go, and it all boils back to that big wreck on that restart that did not trigger caution, and we've seen a lot of drivers struggling to get back going as a result of that.
Back across the start-finish line. Another lap in. Man will stay on the inside, and we got a caution flag, second time out. Trouble. There you see problems for the 2 car. That's James Thurston. We're seeing the tail end of the wreck. You see damage on the track, and now your replay will tell the tale under the yellow flag for Dos here in the Daytona. Dos Cinco.
This was in that second pack. You see a couple of the Anderson cars right there hooked up.
Whoa!
Ooh, I think the white car there caught the yellow line and it bounced him back up, caught the apron, and unfortunately Thurston got the worst of it. We're hearing that's Bill Ross Jr. in the 17. Yep. Let's take another look at that and pick up the 17 of Ross Jr. because I believe, Josh, he may have caught the apron going into 3, and I believe that may be what triggered this.
Yeah,
aerial coverage presented by All-American Pools. Go ahead, Josh.
Yeah, it looks like he's riding on the bottom here, and I think just like you said, Greg, it looks like he's just going to maybe awkwardly get in the corner here, hit that yellow line, gets a little loose, and that's exactly what happened. Just darted up the track, and unfortunately for the guys right beside him, they were just the receiver on that end, so tough break for those guys.
Tucked up behind Casey Garber here. And let's take one more look at it. Again, like Wesley said, all aerial coverage brought to you by All American Pools. But our producer pointed this out, guys. I think we're going to see a perfect case of that connection issue that we've been seeing throughout the case or the race here. I think we're going to see it right there. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Last night,
involved there.
Last night, and I know you guys did a phenomenal job hauling 400 laps, but I want to go back into what Charles was talking about, our producer, because last night he was in the booth, and one of the things that I remembered him talking about when I finally pulled up at home to listen to the end of the race, watch the end of the race, was talking about using up your tires. Well, here's the thing. Probably nobody has really pitted yet. And you never know when that right rear tire or that right front tire, Joshua, is going to pop. And when it pops, you got nowhere to go but into the wall.
Yeah, I fully expect a bunch of these leaders, especially, we've run, 36 laps now, especially under a caution here. Come on in.
Oh, guys, Scott Mann just blew through his pit stall.
Overshot his pit stall big time.
By a couple stalls.
Yep, I was just going to say, go ahead, give me 4 tires here, get, pack it full of fuel and come on out, but that's a tough break sliding through your pit stall.
Cars on the pit lane, service being done. Bryce Beatty, there you see him exiting, along with everyone else.
Now, Wesley, a lot of these guys did pit on that first caution on lap number 5, but only about half of them took tires, so some of these guys now are on varying strategies tire wear wise. You kind of have to go through the field to see who's on what strategy. Now, we did see cars on pit road that first caution while we were watching the replay, but not all of them took tires. This time it was a no-brainer. Everybody was taking tires. However, now we got guys on different strategies here.
It is saying that Troy Daggett is the leader. He's on pit lane. So it's going to cycle back around when they get to the pace car for Sean Breitzman. The driver originally out of Puyallup, Washington, now resides in Tucson, Arizona, the defending champion of the series. And he is now back out in P1, the pole car here for the Daytona 225. By the way, we do want to thank the sponsor of the series for making this race happen. We could not do it without them, and we really want to say big thanks to them. Again, of course, that is the Nicole Bryan photo on Instagram, and it's powered by 211 Designs. So I want to say thank you for them sponsoring this race. We'll also have limited commercial-free coverage, but when we do go to commercial, it will be extended. Try to give you a lot more of the on-track activity. Because again, right now we are approaching 30 laps in, over 30 laps into this still, or 40 laps actually. We're on lap number 37. Lights are off on the pace car. We're going to re-rack them, restack them, Greg, and we're going to try to do this again with Sean Breitzman. And man, what a good run going for Stephen Paulison. I got to give that man some props. Could tonight be the night that Paulison could get a big upset win here at Daytona? He looks really, really strong, the driver out of Salem, Oregon right now.
Well, what better place? What better place to get an upset victory, guys, than Daytona? We've seen it time and time again in league after league after league. Daytona, Talladega, the super speedways, producing upset winners. Who's to say we're not going to see another one tonight?
Back straightaway, ready for the restart. Joshua, you got 4 new tires. You got the tanks filled up again. Only 2 yellow flags in this race. What is this sequence of this next chapter you think going to be for these drivers?
I think a lot of these guys are probably going to be pretty aggressive on this restart, especially some of the guys that maybe got caught up in that earlier incident. They're probably licking their chops, seeing the front of the pack here. I'm interested to see how this restart's going to go.
The field makes their way off the tri-oval, entrance in 4. Back to the Geico restart zone in the grass. Pace car is in. Here they come. Back to speed. Back to green. Brightsman with the whole shot down to the inside. He'll pull away from Beatty. Paulison, man after his pit road penalty, still put him in the top 5. And we rip-roar again into turn 1 up the high banks, Greg Rance.
The inside line is moving, Wesley. Everybody getting down to the bottom on this one. We've only got 1 car hung out to dry right now on the outside. That is appearing to be Scott Mann in the 90. Everybody else making their way down to the bottom. And Josh, I know you've been driving quite a bit on the iRacing server, but have you ever seen the entire outside lane drop down to the bottom that quickly?
Probably not that quick, Greg. Normally, you got guys who are definitely trying to make that top line roll, and I don't think it'll be too much longer till we see some of these guys jump out on the outside. Looks like about 8 cars back. We got the 99 rolling top right now.
And you see the 90 cars, man, finally weasel his way down to the inside. He'll tuck in behind Paulison for P4 in front of Cannell, as they work their way back off of turn number 2. Back straightaway with Brightsman still down the super stretch at speed inside.
By the way, guys, I want to talk about 2 cars up here right now. Talking about the 99 of Torres, who's leading the charge on the outside, and the 54 of Gamble. They started 42nd and 43rd. Scott Mann, who started 40th, has been up at the front all day. But the 2 drivers who started at the very back of the field have worked their way into the top 10. Chris Torres started 42nd, and he's up there contending for the lead right now on the outside, hooked up with Dan Lowther.
And Joshua, we remember what an impressive run Torres did in the duels last Monday night.
Oh, absolutely. He had a great run going in the duels. And how about a little shout out to the number 24 car, our buddy Jeff Stabnow up there, the 3rd car on the outside, starting to get some momentum going on that top lane.
Had a really good car in the duels last week. Got collected in an accident, but had a good run in the trucks. He's on the pole, by the way, for the truck race at Daytona on Wednesday night. Through the tri-oval, back the line, and we are, by the way, gentlemen, closing in on halfway.
We are just a couple of laps shy now of halfway as Brightsman leads the way. Paulison now has picked up Torres on the outside. He's going to lead that outside lane, but I'm watching that 24 of Stab now. His way to the front, started 27th. He's now up in the top 5 now. He's got Lowther, who started 22nd behind him. He's in the top 10. So, guys, the drivers who started near the back, creeping their way up, the only drivers in the top 10 right now who started in the top 10 are Connell in the 003 and your race leader, Sean Brightsman. Everybody else in the top 10 right now started outside that position.
Working their way back to the start-finish line. Couple of more laps until halfway. Sean Brightsman to the inside. He is out in front. Guys, it seems like we just dropped the green flag. We've had, that multi-car accident just inside of Latian. Just working our 2nd caution of the race after an accident with a couple of cars. Most damage for where was James Thurston. But, Josh, this race seems to be going by fairly quickly.
Yeah, it's definitely flying by here, Wesley. We had that first caution, that 2nd incident that we thought should have been a caution, and then we had somewhat of a pretty long green flag run there until we saw that 2nd caution most recently. And, yeah, this race is flying by. These guys are almost at halfway. as you're approaching halfway, now you're going to start thinking about the second half of the race. What can you do to get yourself in position to have a shot at it at the end here?
Off of 2, Greg Rance, Sean Brightsman. Man, what a great job he's got going right now. The defending champion, the pole car, showing his stripes proudly to start the new season. He's got a bullseye on his chest. He's taking on all comers at will as we approach halfway.
Picking up right where he left off last season, Wesley. And who can forget exactly what he had to do to even win that championship?
That's right.
He missed a race in the round of 8, Iowa. He went into Texas for that cutoff race last year in must-win territory. Won that race and then went on to win the dang thing in Phoenix on that one-lap shootout with Seth Frazier. It was a green flag and 1 lap to settle it all here in the Cup Series last year, and Brightsman came home with the win and the championship, and now picking up right where he left off, leading the way. We're halfway this time. Bye, guys.
Certainly was a special time for sure, and Sean Brightsman was able to do the unthinkable because a lot of people felt like the odds were against him. Halfway home here at Daytona, it's time to rest our voices. We're extended. We're kicking the asphalt as they roar off turn 4 to the stripe. Trouble, big trouble in the tri-oval. Just as soon as we're cranking it up, kicking the asphalt, calamity. Caution out for the 3rd time.
Torres involved, Gamble involved. Those were the 2 I were talking about that had started near the back of the field, at the very back of the field. They're both caught up in it. Saw a couple other ones spinning down. We'll take a look at an LSRTV 4K Ultra HD replay. Right there was contact.
That was Torres.
Connell and Torres.
Connell and Torres got together, and then it got some other cars involved.
Through there. Dan West as well. Wow. One of the Anderson
Bozier
cars going around. But wow, did you see?
Chris Torres. It started with Torres at 99. Yeah,
Torres and Connell got together in the tri-oval right here. Watching as they come to the tri-oval.
I think the 99 tried to fill the gap right there, and
whoa, he had some help, guys. He had help. Somebody turned him.
I think that was the 003 maybe of Timothy Connell.
And by the way, Greg, and Greg again, Corey Walters, the defending Daytona winner, called up. I want to ride on board with 99. Let's ride on board with Chris Torres because this should be interesting. Watch this. Paulison in front of him. A little wiggle there. Oh, that's man correction, and he got turned.
There's some contact between Man and Torres. Torres kind of got in the back of Man, had to check up, and he had to shoot up the track to save it, and that was what allowed Connell to get into the back of him. But I want to go on board with the 41 of Stephen O'Hare. And Josh, I want you to walk us through this one. Let's pick up the 41 of O'Hare and go on board that same camera angle because watch how he gets through this. Josh, talk us through this.
All right, so we're riding along here, right in the middle of the pack, coming through the tri-oval.
Actually, this is like here we go.
Oh,
right.
Man. Oh, man.
And watch
spinning.
right here. Hello.
Oh, what a piece of driving.
For Carl Burke. Yeah.
That was a great piece of driving. At that point, it's just all gut reaction. You know, you see cars flying. Here we go.
This is on board with Stephen O'Hare now. That was Carl Burke a moment ago.
No, this was O'Hare. So Josh, walk us through this.
Yep, so Stephen O'Hare here. Riding, coming through the tri-oval. You're going to see some contact up in front of him. Smoke. And all you can do is check up 1 car, 2 car, go left. Oh my goodness, you cannot get much closer than that.
Got a little damage on the right front.
He might have gotten a little bit on the right front, but that was a great piece of driving. Definitely kept himself in this race.
Well, so much for kicking the asphalt. Every time.
Wesley, we get some asphalt all right there, I'll tell you that.
We'll try it again here in a little bit for sure, as we're just after halfway.
But guys, it's just what we talked about. The intensity, we just passed halfway. Guys are going to start ramping it up, and sure enough, and it looks harmless. You know what I mean? The 99 of Torres was just trying to fall in line, a little checkup, and it's just a domino effect. And that's things happen very fast here.
Dan Lowther is now the leader here at Daytona. Cycle of pit stops ongoing as we work after halfway. Second half of the race in the third. Caution restart when we return. Extended commercial break. We'll be back with more LSRTV, your home for sim racing, now in 4K Ultra HD. Here's a look at your Saw Blade top 5 as we're under yellow.
I've always been a bit of a storyteller. When I was little, I would spend hours looking through old photo albums, turning the pages and reliving the moments that those images held. I always loved how things seemed to come alive that way, how the photo is more of a story than just a picture. That's what I want to give my clients, why I strive to truly know them. I want to tell your story in the most honest, authentic way. I want for you to be able to look back at these images and hear the laughter, to remember what it felt like in that moment. Everything from the joyful, playful, laughing so hard tears are rolling down your cheek, to the raw, unscripted, intimate moments with the ones you love most in this world. Everyone has a story, and I love that I get to tell yours.
Welcome back, virtual Daytona. Season opener points night of the Northwest iRacing Cup Series. It is 12:35 Eastern Time where I am in North Carolina. Want to send a shout out to a good friend of mine in Apex, North Carolina, Amanda Mae Mount. She is watching the broadcast as well as it is what is it, like 9:35 where you are on the West Coast, Greg?
Yeah, 9:35.
And we're back underway. Green flag in the air. Let's see how things develop. We're after the halfway mark. We were doing a kick in the asphalt, and yeah, all hell broke loose through the tri-oval. We'll try this again. And Dan Lowther now, Joshua Altus, the man out in front in car number 63. They say green's a bad luck color in racing, but he is proving different, but not for long, because what a job by Stephen Paulison. He'll try to go to the lead on the outside as they hit turn 3.
Oh, yeah. Paulison is hooked up on the outside. He's got plenty of energy building. He's got the 21 of Tyler King behind him. Going to give him a push here. They should have the momentum here coming to the start-finish line.
On the outside is going to work as Paulson does lead the lap. Remember, though, Wesley, Dan Lowther, he was another one of those guys at Talladega who was facing that must-win situation to get in the playoffs, and he did exactly that. He got that big win at Talladega in a 1-2-3 for Team Ramrod that night. Eric Chaney and Seth Frazier finishing it out in second and third. And Chaney, by the way, he has crept his way back up into the top 5 as well. He's second in line on the high side right now, hooked up there with Tyler King, Racetrack King. Seth Frazier, very quiet night for the 32. He's on the lead lap, but he's all the way back in 24th right now, just biding his time and waiting for his moment to get up there. Josh, if you're in the 32 camp right now, you're 24th on the racetrack. You know how this race has gone. When do you want to try to make your way to the front?
Honestly, if you're back there, I still think you hang out. It's still, there's so much time left. We're just under 40 laps to go. I think if you're back there, you're just fine hanging back there. You know you're going to see a wreck again. So I think you just continue being patient, biding your time, and then I think after maybe one more big wreck, then you might start trying to make your move forward. But man, Tyler King's got a big run on the outside here.
Joshua, let's elaborate on that as we got cars down below the bottom of the apron, cars zigging and zagging from the bottom of the shelf to the top of the safer wall barrier. You think of a driver like Tyler King as now he pulls his car to the lead, battling with Paulison. They continue to flip-flop 1 and 2 on the inside and outside front row. You have struggled. You have methodically proven in the last 2 weeks you got a program that could do well and win races. How do you just put it all together and not make a mistake down the stretch to win?
It's so tough, Wesley. I mean, the thing with Daytona, Talladega, these big super speedways, it's the great equalizer, right? We talk about the draft all the time. You've got your go-to guys, your mile and a half, your short track guys. Maybe some of these guys, aren't used to running up front, but, this is your chance here at Daytona. If you can just utilize that draft right, you time your runs, man, you can win this race, the biggest race of the season, and lock yourself in the playoffs early on. So definitely, you try not to think about it. You don't want to overthink. As a driver, you just kind of want to react to as much as you can during this race right now. And, you don't want to think about the big picture too much right now. You're just trying to focus on the task at hand.
Whoa! Frank Harris bouncing off the wall, rim riding off the top of the concrete, and he will save it, and no one will get into him. What a scare for the 11. A lap down car.
We have trouble.
Oh, no.
Boy.
Oh, no.
Right in front of the field.
Look out, Dan Lowther. He gets clipped. He's spinning in the grass. And there's a whole bunch of other cars wrecking. Scott Mann's involved. Ross Jr.'s involved. Paulison involved.
Dan West
Brightsman gets
involved.
through. Balzer gets through. White gets through. We got another big one in turn 3. Wow.
This was the big one right here.
It started about halfway down the backstretch. Let's watch that outside line. You see Cheney get a run.
Oh, he turned him. Oh, no, Tyler King. You know what? I feel like I jinxed him, Joshua. Talking about just a great job he was doing, and then you just, man, what a mistake.
The old commentator's curse, Wesley.
This is twice I've done that. Tyler King he does not consider me his favorite announcer right now.
But hey guys, you know how you guys were just talking about, that car that was right in the 24th position? Man, I mean, we'll have to go back through to make sure he didn't get any damage, but what a position to be in, right?
Who do we ride on board with? Who do we ride on board with? I mean, what will tell the tale? Who turned the 21?
Yeah, I'd like to see either Brightsman or the 21 on board.
Or who turned the 21?
Still looking at the back bumper of the 21, and we'll see who was behind him there.
There you go. We'll kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Yeah, we'll go on
Let's
board.
pick the 21.
Back of the 21 to Tyler King.
And what a tough break for Tyler King. This man literally up at the front, battling with Paulison.
Well, this is
and then all of a
right
sudden
now.
He gets scattered, smothered, and covered off of turn 3. Watch this.
First, we're going to watch Brightsman and get through this. We're on board with Carl Burke right now in the 53. Brightsman right in front of him. So first, we're going to try to get through. Now we're on board with Brightsman. So
yes,
first, we're going to go on board with him and watch him get through there.
Eastbound. Look out. Woo!
Oh, he did get a piece of that. Brightsman did get a piece of that.
It's not that bad. Now let's ride. Whoa. Okay, never mind. Now let's go on board with Tyler King. And this should tell the tale. Got to catch the 21. There he is. Now to the back. We're going to go to the back camera. This is off of 2. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. Boy, is that Paulison?
76 change.
No, that's a 76.
And guys, that's so easy to do. The 76 just got to the right rear quarter panel of them, and that is
damn
where
you big bird.
You do not want to push on that right side. When you're trying to push, you want to stay squared up as possible, and man, it's so easy if that car just darts just a little bit and you've got a big run and you're trying to push, you get on that right side quarter panel, and that's what happens.
And he lost in this one, guys. Dan West Jr. had just cracked into the top 5, but on pit road getting damage repaired, he already had used the fast repair. That will likely spell the end of the night for the Truck Series champion.
And he will be in action on Wednesday night, 11:30 Eastern Time, as Dan West Jr. will prepare to defend his championship in the Truck Series. He won the title. That'll kick off season 8 for the trucks. Wednesday night, by the way, new day, same time, 11:30 Eastern Time. LSRTV coverage Also on CRN Sports of the Northwest Racing Series, the Cup and Truck Series, and the man out of Shelton, Washington. We'll see if he can continue his momentum like Sean Breitzman was doing. Breitzman got lucky. He stayed out of trouble in that wreck. And Joshua, here's somebody I think about. Ricky Bozier. Remember when he was the car up on top of the wall at the beginning of the first wreck? He's now in the top 3.
Yeah, he's looking pretty good right now, up in 3rd. And Wesley, I was just thinking, you were asking me, what does it take to win this race? That's why it's so hard to win at Daytona. You could be doing everything right. You're up in the front pack. You're leading the race. And just like that, your race gets turned upside down. So it is so hard to win these races. That's what makes it such a great equalizer to anyone in the field. If you're running and you can keep your car somewhat clean, you've got a shot at this thing.
Martin Tomlik now your leader, up 12 spots, back 18 is Stefano Harry's in 2nd, Ricky Bozier 3rd, Sean Breitzman falling back now 3 spots to 4th, Bryce Beatty is 5th, James Viney, the Catman, is in 6th. Good job for him, up 31 spots. And I know Charles will like this guy. Ole, Roy Grande. The Taco Bell Machine is in 7th. Casey Garber, 8th, up 31 spots. Stephen Paulus at 9th, and Troy Daggett now in the top 10 after the completion of our 4th caution. I think Greg and I were working on stats this afternoon, and he said there was a total of 7 yellow flags last year, 26 lead changes. We'll see how that shakes out tonight here as they work their way back to the Geico restart zone, and we are back to it again. Green flag. Let's see what Tomlik and O'Hare can do. Tomlik scampers away from the field into turn 1. We're back underway.
Now I'm watching that 41 of O'Hare, guys, the leading truck on the outside, or car on the outside. Excuse me, I said truck because he's a 3-time truck winner, but has not yet won a cup race here in the series. 3 wins last season in the trucks, but up here leading the way right now, hooked up with Breitzman, looking for that first cup win. And Josh, remember, he was that one who we went on board with a little while ago that just barely caught a piece of that big one in the tri-oval a few laps ago.
Well, yeah, I'm still looking at this number 46 of Breitzman. He has been up front all day long. Like you just alluded to, he got just a little piece of that wreck, but he either took his fast repair, potentially just fit some optional damage, and he is that car on the outside leading the train. Keep an eye on Breitzman as the closing laps here.
And guys, somebody else I'm keeping an eye on? Look at the top 10. Who's closing in? The defending winner of this race last year, the Napa number 9, Corey Walters. Even though he's been in calamity 2 times, he has moved his way into the top 10 in the 9 car.
Got a lot of damage on the left rear of that number 9, though. That is my concern right now with the defending race winner. A lot of damage on the left rear. He's kind of stuck on the high side right now, having a hard time getting down to the bottom. Josh, you've got damage on the left rear. What's that doing to the car?
Yeah, damage on the left rear is definitely going to hurt you. Especially if you're going to be trying to be the lead car, the air up under it can definitely kind of make it like a parachute where it slows you down. If you can kind of tuck in that draft, you can hang in the draft, but it's definitely going to be tough to be the lead car. But guys, I'm looking at this number 42 as well, the 3rd car on the inside of Ricky Bozier, in that FarmersOnly.com entry. He has found his way to the bottom side, and he might be right where he wants to be here.
Bozier was very impressive in the second half of the season. Very quietly was rattling off some solid finishes at the end of last season. Ooh, Tomlik. Whoa. With a big bobble there on the inside. Garber in the number 94. Watch out for Casey Garber, guys. He has spent a lot of time putting in practice on these super speedways in the last couple of weeks preparing for this race, and here he is up in the top 5. He wants that first cup victory. Look who else has joined the top 10 up there. 4th in line on the outside, the Catman, James Vining, has entered the chat, ladies and gentlemen.
What a job for the Catman. You're riding on board with Bryce Beatty, and by the way, you don't have to be lonely with SimRacersOnly.com as you're riding on board with that car in front of him of Tomlik and O'Hare, Paulus, and Ricky Bozier. So many names that we normally have never mentioned in the Northwest iRacing Cup Series, at least now in my second tenure. in the front of the pack besides Sean Brightsman and O'Hare. And Greg, here comes Casey Garber, nip tuck down to the inside. He's looking for the lead up the pack, and they're banking in one.
Around lap traffic, O'Hare tucked right up there with Garber. A little bit of a 3-car break before you find Tolman trying to go on defense. And Josh Garber's got to move on the outside, but he's got no help as he's going to try to fall to the back and pick up Paulson. But Garber took the shot there.
Yeah, just about a lap ago, Garber made a really impressive move. He and the 46 car of Brightsman, they were both on the outside. The 94 gave a huge shove to the 46, and they both cleared that number 41 car. But yeah, as he tried to move up on the outside here, he fell back. But you guys watch right here. If the 58 can get to him, I think they're going to make another charge up here.
What, two-thirds of the way, under 30 laps to go. Gentlemen, you think they've turned the wick up a bit?
Oh, yeah,
just a little bit.
It's go time, and you know who has decided it's go time? I'm looking at that purple 32 Ford Mustang. Seth Frazier, we talked about him about 10 laps ago. Before that caution was hanging back in 24th. He just cracked the top 10.
Digging holes and taking souls in the pallbearer special. We'll see what he can do. Here they come out of turn number 4 through the tri-oval. Just under 30 laps to go. All right, let's try it now. Kicking the pavement, kicking the asphalt, Daytona style. Take 2, here they come. Here they come. Just under 30 laps to go, 25 to be exact. Picks, time to place your bets. Who's it going to be to win the first race of the year with the Daytona 225? Just under 25 laps to go. My pick, I'm going with 94 Casey Garber, up 33 spots, and he's currently in the 6th position. Greg, who you riding with for the win?
Going with the guy who got shut out on the Cup Series last year, but 3 truck wins on the year. So close so many times in the Cup Series. He's second in line right now. I'm picking that 41 for Beaver State Racing, Stephen O'Hare. Josh, I know you're feeling really good about your pick, though. Who you got?
Yeah, I will give you guys the field, but you know what? You give me a winner. Give me Sean Brightsman. He's our defending champion. He's the pole sitter. He won the duel, and man, he has been looking strong this race. Give me the number 46 goes to Victory Lane to start the year.
It's only obvious that the driver analyst is going to pick the guy in the number 1 spot, right?
Hey,
right now, our picks are 1, 2, 3, guys. Garber got a huge run on the outside. We're sitting 1, 2, 3 right now.
Do we know how to pick him, or do we know how to pick him? There goes my car up on the outside.
He's got help. He's got help from Team Ramrod, though. He's hooked up with Frazier and
Frazier.
Wilder. And Brock Denny, he's still laps down, but Brock Denny, he proved on Wednesday. Whoa, we got trouble. Roy Grande with a big slide.
I think he saved it.
Hangs on to it. He saved it. Brock Denny, the number 64, is 2 laps down. Sorry, Josh, but Denny 2 laps down, but he's up there showing that he is a very talented super speedway racer. He wants to get hooked up with Garber still and help Garber get up to the win, because Denny and Garber, they have been drafting partners this entire offseason in practice races at Daytona, going back to the duels in the truck series. These guys are going to get hooked up by the end of the race, I promise you.
But we have placed our bets. If you're in the chat box watching in 4K Ultra HD, who are you riding with? Who's your pick to win? As we come down the stretch, look at them. It's Brightsman, it's Garber right there with Frazier and O'Hare. Lowther top 5, Josh.
Yeah, guys, one guy we did not pick, but he is right there with all 3 of our pits. That number 32 car, that purple car on the top. You know, we talked about him laying back earlier in the race. Seth Frazier, he is looking pretty sporty here late in the race, but I'm still going with my number 46.
And I will say this as well, Greg and Josh, I'm so impressed with Bryce Beatty, Dan Lowther, Stephen Paulison, Ricky Bozier, and yes, even the Catman, James Vining in the top 10. Drivers that are either struggled last year or new names of the series this year coming up and making their presence felt here at Daytona.
Bryce Beatty is the surprise of the race to me, guys. He started 23rd, found himself in the top 10 early, and has been a constant in the top 10 since about that first caution back on lap 5. Bryce Beatty, the surprise of the race for me in that 70 car, looking very, very strong right now.
20 laps to go. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to take our final extended break side by side so you don't miss anything. Joshua Altus, Greg Renson, myself will take you to the checkered flag finish here in the Daytona 225. The Northwest iRacing Cup Series continues in 4K Ultra HD on LSRTV. Saw Blade top 5 as they begin a wiggle and a giggle and a jiggle and a bobble off of 4. Fighting for the win. Still under 20 to go.
Tree Timber, developed to own the flyway, has taken the hunting world by storm.
Work like a champ.
Hunters are finding that the versatility of timber works no matter what game you chase.
Hot dog, look at this. Right there.
Whichever game you pursue, timber has you concealed.
There's timber in this hardwood bottom. Looks great. Unbelievable.
Real Tree Timber. Own the outdoors.
Well, you saw it side by side. Holy cow. People are starting to get a little irritated here at Daytona. Tempers are starting to flare inside their race cars. And Brightsman to the lead, Paulison second, Frazier third, Beatty and now Garber your top 5. And Greg, your car here, O'Hare, is out of the mix.
Yeah, we saw what happened there going through off of turn number 4. Some contact between guys running up at the front, and unfortunately, well, my pick's out. So I vote repeat on this one. No, I'm playing. So my pick's done. So this one looks like it's between you guys to settle it between your picks. You got Brightsman leading the way on the inside, Garber in second in line on the outside, but there is a new player up at the front, guys, and his name is Seth Frazier. He's from Wenatchee, Washington. He's the defending Northwest Tour champion. He was in the finals last year in this series, and he's leading the way at Daytona.
Josh, some very intense racing in there. You see Stephen O'Hare, what might have been. Now he's a lap down car getting passed after he comes off the pit lane.
Yeah, it's really easy to get antsy here. You know, we're approaching. I think we'll be at 15 to go once we hit the line here. You know, it's go time, and guys are running out of patience. They're trying to think about how to put themselves in position. And you know, I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but 15 laps is still a long way to go here. So you don't want to make your move too early to get yourself in trouble like we just saw. So we'll see if these guys can hang on. But Greg, I know you want to stay in this pick'em, so I'll let you have the 32 if that's what you want, because
no,
Frazier's looking good.
No, his pick is out. Sorry, I'm lead announcer.
Hey, I like Josh's idea. I like Josh's idea.
I mean, it doesn't matter. The 46 is going to win this race anyway.
We are guaranteed, guys. We are guaranteed a new winner in this race because defending winner Corey Walters, he has parked it for the night in the number 9. The Napa 9 is done for the evening.
Well, we saw him about wreck the field under caution during the side-by-side, so I was like, what in the world's going on there? And, oh, well, no caution. 15 to go. Under 15 to go.
My question is this, guys. Are we going to see another caution or not?
Yeah, we're going to see another caution.
You think we'll
know. The way this race has gone with 2 things that should have brought a caution out but didn't, I don't think we're going to, because I think Barney's taking the night off.
You're just saying that because your car's out.
No, I'm not. I'm saying that because of what happened back around lap 10 and then what just happened on that side-by-side.
Well, we'll see. You could be right.
Barney's up there with his girlfriend, Brittany, and he's a little distracted.
Oh, hi, Brittany. Oh, my goodness. Ready for the...
Wow.
Split the middle.
Look out.
Split in the middle.
Split
Josh, as a driver, what goes through your head when you have to decide what to do and your best move is go right through the middle? What goes through your head if you're Frazier right there?
You're just hoping no one comes down and wrecks you. I've been in positions like that before, and lap cars think you're going to do one thing, and then it ends up, you know, causing a big pile up. So, but man, Frazier, he had the run. He wasn't going to wait. He saw a gap and he went for it, and luckily it worked out right there.
I just think of the movie The Grinch where, you know, he says, Dad, move it. You know, the Grinch who stole Christmas. Look, Jim Carrey. Never mind.
I never saw that new one. I like the cartoon version, but I never saw the new one.
I like the Jim Carrey
one. You've never saw the Jim Carrey version?
No, I'm saying I like the Jim Carrey version.
Okay, well then you know what I'm talking about. Dad, move it. I have no insurance.
I was just
13 to go.
I don't know what Josh was doing, but I was just letting you go as far as you can before you just decided to stop.
That's right.
Frazier, Brightsman, Paulison, Beatty, and Lowther, your top 5. Garber, my pick. Ross, Vining, Raz, King in the top 10 now.
Now remember, guys, we have a 7-car breakaway here at the front, but Brock Denny, who, by the way, I said was trying to hook up with Garber, now he is. Denny is 2 laps down, so right now for Brock Denny, his goal in that 64 is no doubt in my mind going to be trying to help Casey Garber win this race. Those two worked together for weeks preparing for this race, drafting together, and they finally have found each other deep in the field. This worked out for them on Wednesday night in the truck duels. Brock Denny picking up the win in the trucks. Now he's hooked up with Garber again. The question is, Josh, when do you make your move? Knowing what's going on in front of you, you've got 5 cars in front of you if you're Garber, 6-car breakaway here at the front, plus Denny tacking on. When do you make your move?
Yeah, that's a great question, Greg. You know, this actually, believe it or not, it's kind of reminding me of the real-life Daytona 500. We saw kind of a similar breakaway of cars.
Yes.
It was kind of a cat-and-mouse game of, you know, who's going to make a move and win. You know, if I'm the 46 car, I'm pretty content riding here, really, any of the top 3, top 4 cars. But that 94 car, you know, I'd go ahead and start maybe even testing the water a little bit. If you've got Brock Denny who's going to go with you, you know, why not try to go up on that top, see what you got? You know, even if you want to make a couple practice runs here, see how long it's going to take you. And here he goes, right as I'm saying that, there he goes to the top.
Well, if this does hold true to like the real Daytona 500 earlier, then give the check right now to Stephen Paulison, because he's sitting in the McDowell spot right now. But we're still 10 laps away from figuring that out.
And by the way, we saw, as you said, this same type of strategy, and there's still a lot of racing left to go. I know there's 10 laps to go, but there's still a lot remaining. As here they come, over 20 miles remain here in this race. Here they come. Back into turn number 1 and 2, Seth Frazier holding his line. Lap cars on the top shelf of the racetrack, getting out of harm's way of the leaders. And there is that 7-car breakaway from Frazier to Ross Jr. in that pack. Anyone, Josh, could win this race if somebody slips. The question is, when will it happen?
Yeah, honestly, unless some of these guys, third, fourth on back start making a move, I would not be surprised if we went all the way to the white flag until we saw any type of move happen. I know the 94's got a little help back there, but I don't know if he's got enough to get up there and make it happen just with his I don't know if that's his teammate or not behind him, but with that car behind him trying to help him out. But, it's just so tough to say, Wesley. And you don't know what's going to happen either. You don't know if the leaders are going to get together. You don't know who to go with. I mean, it's so hard to win this race, like I've said before. And, that's the frustrating part is now we're getting to the nitty-gritty. You've put yourself in position, but now what can you do to make it happen and win the first race of the year?
So, Josh,
whoa, trouble! Look out! Car's wrecking! Grande's involved! Flying through the air goes Garber!
It wasn't Garber.
I'm sorry.
All the way back in turn 2.
Hendrick's not involved.
45.
Yes.
Guys, this changes everything now.
This is going to change the entire
Right you are. Holy cow. This will totally change the outcome of this race. This happened in the sec pack inside the top 20, if you will, is what we're being told by our production truck.
Notice most of these guys already had damage on their cars, so a lot of these guys may have been fighting the handling of the car because of that damage already on it. Right there you see the contact, the hard hit, and going for a ride. King? No, that was Tidrick. That was Tidrick, or Man.
Or Man, okay.
That's Scott Mann.
Scott Mann. Oh, man, yeah.
No.
And I know Roy Grande was in that battle. Here's... Man, we're riding on board with Scott Mann now through the tri-oval. What do you think, Joshua? A bump draft gone wrong? Let's rest our voices here and then we'll give analysis on it. Oh. Flying through the air, Scott Mann in 90. The Canadian who had such a strong run in the beginning of this race.
Guys, mixed bag on pit road. Sean Breitzman and Casey Garber, the only two that came down pit road. Rest of the field coming down to the back. Only 2 cars up in that lead pack came down pit road. Now, this is big because we're used to Breitzman being the one to roll the dice and stay out. This time, he's the only one coming down pit road.
Yeah, I don't know about this call, guys. Like we said at the top of the show, tires really aren't going to make a huge difference here unless Breitzman just didn't like the spot he was in. This is going to be interesting to see and where Garber he comes out. Yeah,
there goes R2 picks, Josh. R2 picks are in the pits.
Yep.
Okay, but here's the question, though. We saw something similar to this in the duels for the trucks, Greg, on Wednesday night, and we saw it where... we saw that's basically how Ray Fournier won the race. He stayed on the track, used up his tires, literally stayed on the racetrack. The other guys came to the pits and took on tires in a shootout, and they couldn't get there in time to win the race.
And these guys know what happened there on Wednesday night. They went back and studied the film and made sure that they had taken every note possible to get that one done. So I'm wondering if this is what some of these guys were thinking back to that duel on Wednesday night, thinking back to how Fournier won duel number 2 and saying, you know what, I'm going to try it out. Now here's an interesting question, guys. Notice who is now lining up first and fourth teammates. Seth Frazier and Dan Lowther going to line up first and fourth here. They're not going to be lined up with each other, but remember, Frazier pushed Lowther to the victory at Talladega last fall in that cutoff race for the finale. Now,
Right.
here's the thing.
I thought
Can
Frazier was
Lowder
going to
get down there.
Wow.
Oh, that's just the old trickaroo there, Wesley. That's what you do as a driver to mess with everybody.
I'm coming in. Next side. Nope.
There's a couple of guys in our S&B Cup Series who they will do that on any caution. It doesn't matter if it's lap 4, lap 40.
But guys, here's the thing. We're going to be bunched up side by side, tighter than the lid on a pickle jar. When we come back for the restart, the lights are off of the pace car. And literally, we are going to have a 5-lap shootout to decide it here.
Hey, guys.
We're not even in overtime yet.
Cole Raz is up to 7th, guys, with a clean race car.
Cole Raz. Tyler King back up to 8th, might I add. And by the way, Greg, Lake Peterson, and Sean Brightsman, who started this race on the front row, are up in the top 10.
Yeah, guys, I'm still shaking my head. I'm not sure about that call to come in with Brightsman was up in that front pack, and now he's going to restart 11th.
So I think Brightsman may have been banking on more cars coming behind him, and Frazier, knowing that Brightsman is probably playing mind games, said, you know what, no, I'm going to do whatever he doesn't do, knowing that Brightsman likes to go off sequence and try different stuff. Frazier might be thinking, you know what, I'm going to try to beat Sean in his own game here.
And Greg, could we say as we make our way back to the Geico restart zone for what could be possibly the final restart of the night in the Daytona 225, but remember, we've not even passed the scheduled distance yet. We could go into overtime if it permits. We do go back to the rule book of 3 attempts at a green-white checker. But we know in years past that Frazier sometimes makes some enemies the way he races because he takes no prisoners. We're going to see how this develops. Back to green flag underway, and Frazier has pulled away from the field. Under 5 laps to go. 4 remaining here at Daytona in turn 1.
Look at Beatty, though, in the number 70, breaking past Paulison. Bryce Beatty, the surprise of the race we talked about, up in 2nd now. Bill Ross Jr. trying to get up behind him, but Cole Raz has found Dan Lowder. These two might be able to make something happen on the outside there if they can get past Paulison, but Lowder's going to give a big shove to that 58 going into turn 3. Josh, where do you want to be right now, inside or outside?
I like the outside right now, right where Paulison is. You get a lot of momentum on that top. The 32 of Frazier, he's pretty comfortable on the bottom, but in terms of moving forward, I like that 58, and here he comes, boys.
To the line, 3 to go. Remember, we have a caution. If we have a caution, we will go to overtime. But right now, they're sticking it to the inside.
Paulson had the run, but Frazier able to make that inside line work really well in the corner entry. But right here, this is where Paulison's going to be the strongest, going down the straightaway.
Guys, I'm interested to see if he gets clear the 32. Will he drop down in front of him, or will he stay on the inside? When I won the race here, I used the outside to make the pass, and then I dropped to the bottom to block. Let's see what the 58 does here.
Well, here's the thing with that,
top 10 are in a pack. Top 10 in a pack.
Here's the thing with that, Josh. Dan Lowder in the 63 and the 32 of Frazier are teammates. Does Paulison want to try to risk it and allow the teammates to hook up there? That's also got to weigh on his mind. He also has to think what's the best move to prevent them from hooking up in the 32 and the 63.
Boys, it is getting shaky right here. I don't know if we're going to make it back around without seeing another caution.
We're 3 wide
keep
back
an eye
there.
on it.
3 wide, King.
Well, the 63 left his teammate.
Whoa, hold on, guys.
He's
3 wide. They're jumping out of the line now. You see him starting to bob and weave. Into the corner, into 3.
I like the 32 here, guys. He's controlling the pace. He's controlling the race, and he's coming to the white flag.
If you're Beatty right now, you have to keep that 63 between you and the 32. You have to stay between them as the white flag's going to fall. CRN, 1 to go, Wesley.
Final time around, and you see the pack. Literally a hornet's nest behind Frazier, the purple 32 car. Final time to go in turn 1.
This one's not over, guys, as Raz had to run on the outside, but Paulson and Lowder both go up. This is all going to be decided right here if Paulson and Lowder can get a run on the outside.
Back straightaway into 3. Where do you make your move? Lap car down below the yellow line. They'll stay in that pack into 3.
Oh, the 70 blew up. The 70 blew up.
Whoa, it's 70's in trouble. We got a big wreck behind him. They're still going to race to the flag.
Teammates
Look at
for the
Lowther.
win.
Lowther, wait, Ross is there. Paulison is there.
Comes Ross.
They're sliding.
Here comes Ross.
Here comes
Ross on the
Frazier
outside.
for the
Oh,
There's contact.
Paulison.
Ross will still win. Paulison will win this race.
Wow.
Wow.
Bill Ross
Are
Jr.
you
came across
kidding
the
me?
line sideways.
I
and
thought
finished
Ross had it,
second.
guys. I thought Ross
I
had
thought
it.
so too. And then
I
Paulison
literally
just
thought,
squeaked through.
guys, I literally thought Ross had this race spun across the start-finish line. You see the calamity, you see him wrecking in the back, and then you're down to, hey, it's March Madness. Here's your final four right there for the win.
I watched this. The contact right there.
Wow.
Right here, we thought Ross was going to cross the line, but Paulison just with enough power
Wow.
to get through there.
What a finish, guys.
Joshua Altus, welcome to the Northwest iRacing Cup Series.
Oh, by the
Unbelievable.
way, Josh, as we do our post-race results, we also have to introduce you to another little something that we like to do here in the Northwest Series. It's called the Front Row Demo Derby. At the conclusion of every points race, as the results go on, these guys are going to tear it up.
Look out!
That's awesome.
Celebration for Stephen Paulison.
His
Happy for him, Greg.
His first cup victory. That's got to feel good for the Jim Beam
And guys,
Toyota.
he ran
Joshua,
great
it's just
all
like
race.
Daytona 500 with Michael McDowell won.
It is. I mean, you just, like I said, we've said it the whole broadcast, guys. You just never know who's going to win this thing until it's over. We all thought this number 17 of Bill Ross Jr. won this race sideways, but Paulison was able to just squeak it out, and what a great win for him.
Unbelievable. Well, guys, let's take a look at the SouthBlade.com unofficial results, because it was quite wild. This is how they came across the line unofficially.
Stephen Paulison will pick up the win here in the Daytona 225. Bill Ross Jr. Boy, I thought he had it won. 4/1000th of a second at the stripe over Paulison. He's second. Dan Lowther, what a run for him. He's third. Seth Frazier, fourth. Eric Cheney is fifth. Sean Brightsman, Tyler King, James Vining, Kevin Smith, Lake Peterson, your top 10.
How about that? 3 in the top 5 there for Team Ramrod. I'll take that to start the year off. Casey Garber in the number 94 comes home 11th. Carl Burke rallies to 12th. Josh Marcy, a quiet night, finishes 13th. Jeff Stabenow 14th to lead us to the green on Wednesday night in the trucks. The final car on the lead lap was Taco Bell Roy Grande in the number 18. Bryce Beatty, so close, guys, was up in second at the very end of this race. Comes home 16th. Cole Raz in 17th. Ricky Bozer, Daryl Tidrick, and Taylor Larson round out the top 20. Josh, pick up 21st.
Yep, 21st is Troy Daggett there. 22nd, Brock Denny. 23rd, Timmy Connell. 24th, Ray Fournier. 25th, Stephen O'Hare. We saw him early up front in this race. Tough finish for him back in 25th. 26th was Christopher White. 27th, Dan West Jr. 28th, Cade Anderson. 29th, Scott Mann. And 30th is Daniel Rogers.
And to round out the rest of the rundown, Chris Torres, Corey Walters, Martin Tomlick, Briar Reynolds, Frank Harris, top 35, Robert Gamble, BJ Tidrick, James Thurston, Ryan Maines, Bruce Lee Weaver with struggles tonight. And of a 43-car field, it will include with Devin West. Man, what a tough way to start the season in a wreck on lap 20. Aaron Cooper, John Ottenbacher, problems in the early get-go as well. Well, Greg, I know we got to let you go. Me and Joshua are going to handle post-race here in the Daytona 225, but what's your final closing thoughts as we get ready for a long, almost 30-week season for the Northwest iRacing Cup Series? Always a pleasure working with you, and I'll see you Wednesday night for the trucks.
Yeah, we'll see you Wednesday night, Wesley, but unbelievable start to the season. You couldn't ask for a better in a great start to the season. It was awesome watching these guys battle it out. And how about it? Stephen Paulison, right place, right time, just barely squeaks by Paulison. Great job by everybody here tonight. Incredible race by everybody. And Paulison, a huge win. No doubt he's going to be excited. So you guys have fun on the post race. Wesley, I will not only see you on Wednesday night, I'll see you tomorrow for the CRN Outlaw Esports Tour from Long Beach.
Long Beach road course racing. That's right. Don't want to miss it. 9 p.m. Eastern time, 8 Central tomorrow night, right here on your home for sim racing, Live Sim Racing TV. Again, Greg, thank you. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we will talk to the top 3. They're in the box, ready to go. And the man out of Salem, Oregon, Stephen Paulison, winner at Daytona. His first career win at the virtual World Center of Racing with the Northwest Cup Series. Back with more in 4K Ultra HD. This is LSRTV.
I've always been a bit of a storyteller. When I was little, I would spend hours looking through old photo albums, turning the pages and reliving the moments that those images held. I always loved how things seemed to come alive that way, how the photo was more of a story than just a picture. That's what I want to give my clients, why I strive to truly know them. I want to tell your story in the most honest, authentic way. I want for you to be able to look back at these images and hear the laughter, to remember what it felt like in that moment. Everything from the joyful, playful, laughing so hard tears are rolling down your cheek, to the raw, unscripted, intimate moments with the ones you love most in this world. Everyone has a story, and I love that I get to tell yours.
Welcome back to the virtual Daytona International Speedway. Coverage of the Daytona 225 is in the books to kick off season number 2 for the Northwest iRacing Cup Series. I'm Wesley Outland. Greg Rentz has already took off for the night. Joshua Altus, our driver analyst, alongside, and Charles Wooten, always an awesome job of the production chair. We will grab a word with Salem, Oregon's Stephen Paulison here in just a few moments, as he is a first-time winner here at Daytona and in the Northwest Cup. What a wild third-place driver. The man of the car, number 63, Dan Lowther. Dan, man, just craziness. What a last lap. Let's just skip lap number 88. Let's go right to lap 90, decide the winner. And you're right there. It's got to be special for you with the trials and tribulations virtually you've had in the Northwest Series to come back and finish in the top 3 finish to start the year. It's got to be a positive note to kick off things.
Oh, yeah, for sure. You know, considering last year I missed the first 5 or 6 races of the year, so it's good to start off on the right foot with the series. And yeah, that last lap was wild. I was just trying to position for it, and somebody unfortunately blew up pushing, and it was kind of chaos from there to the finish line.
Well,
Dan,
go ahead, Josh. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Wesley. Dan, it was a great race for you in the number 63 car, coming home with a third-place finish. Take me through a little bit of your strategy coming into this race. You know, did you want to plan to stay in the back and try to miss some of the reds, or did you just want to plan to try to be up front as much as you could?
You know, I wasn't really worried about the wrecks as much as just trying to figure out how my car would make runs on people so I could kind of position myself to where I could be in the right position at the end of the race. So I was kind of moving back and forth throughout the pack, just seeing how my car would pull up to people and what kind of moves I can make around certain drivers. And then I had a strategy with Pitt that I kind of stuck with the whole race that worked out to keep me where I wanted to be at the end.
Well, Dan, before we let you go, thank your sponsors, man. And again, I'm happy for you. Definitely. It's you're one of those underdog drivers. I remember what you had to do to make it into the playoffs when you won at Talladega last year. And, you know, I sense good things for a car that's normally bad luck, green in color. And you've proven that you got a pretty good piece this year.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I love the green, and it's It's always been pretty good to me. But yeah, got to thank Nicole Bryant Photography. They're the sponsor of the race tonight. So thanks to those guys for helping the Northwest Series put on the race, and In Front Motorsports and Specialty Painting. And then big shout out to Team Ramrod. We finished 3rd, 4th, and 5th there.
Yeah.
So it was a good night for our team also.
Yeah, Team Ramrod, Dan Lowther, Seth Frazier, and Eric Cheney in the top 5. A good way for them to come back and get a good podium. Top 5 finish as well. Dan Lowther, he's 3rd. Runner-up in the race, Bill Ross Jr., driver of the number 17. We're going to grab a word with him now as he finishes in the 2nd position. Do we have Bill? I believe he has left. We had him and then we lost him. We have lost him. Bill Ross Jr., we've lost him in the 17. By the way, he was 2nd place in the race. 4 1,000ths of a second there, the difference. So anyhow, Bill Ross, we lost him. Hopefully we can bring him back in, but I guess we're just going to go right to victory lane, and we're going to grab a word with Stephen Paulison, the driver out of Salem, Oregon. Stephen, congratulations, man, for Da Vinci Racing. You're literally impressive throughout the night. We were talking greatly about you, but as it come down to the stretch, how confident was you that you knew you could win this race tonight? Stephen, we can't hear you, bud. Do you have a copy? All right, Stephen Paulison, you have a copy, bud? We cannot hear you. He can hear us, but we can't hear him. All right, let's try this again here. Yeah, I guess we could try it again. Steven, you got a copy now? Oh man, Charles, can we help him downstairs and see if we can? All right, so this is what we're going to do because we really want to talk to the winner of the race. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we will talk to the winner, and we'll try to get Bill Ross Jr. back as well. But definitely, we want to speak to the winner. His first career win from Salem, Oregon in the Northwest Cup Series here at Daytona, Stephen Paulison. Back with more LSRTV. Back here at Daytona, so we are having some technical issues, and we're not able to grab Bill Ross Jr. nor Stephen Paulison. We were told that he was having some mic issues on driver communication even before the race ended. So on a high note, we'll try to grab a word with him Wednesday before the truck race. But Joshua Altus, your thoughts of this race tonight, and what a finish. I mean, this literally should be something that we put in the highlight reel to promote how competitive and how exciting the Northwest iRacing Cup Series is in Season 2.
Oh, absolutely, Wesley. I enjoyed every bit of it, and I'll tell you what: if Stephen Paulison, if the only issue he has is a mic not working right now, I think he'll take that. Obviously, we wish we could get him in here for an interview to congratulate him. But man, what a great race! I had so much fun with you guys up in the booth, and man, we had a little bit of everything. We had some comers and goers. We had a bunch of big rets. We had a lot of varying strategies, and man, like we thought at the end, I thought Bill Ross Jr. He had that big run up top. He went right off the nose of Stephen Paulison, and Paulison was able to stay in it and just inch him to the start-finish line. Congratulations to Stephen Paulison, that number 58 team. What a way to start the season.
And that'll put a wrap on the Nicole Bryan photo. Daytona 225, powered by 211 Design. 4/1000th of a second over the checkered flag finish of Bill Ross Jr. and Dan Lowther again getting himself a top podium. Next race tomorrow night, it will be the CRN Outlaw Esports Tour. We'll be at Long Beach Road Course Racing. Greg Rentz, myself on the call for that series. And again, don't forget, on Wednesday night, it is round 1 for points racing for the Northwest iRacing Truck Series as they're in action for Season 8 for 225 miles, 90 laps at Daytona as well. As always, follow the Northwest Cup Series or Northwest Racing Series on Facebook at LSRTV on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, at CRN Sports on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and of course, LiveSimRacingTV.com. For Charles Wooten, Jeff Stabnow, everybody at Rocket Media and LSRTV, for my buddy Greg Rentz, Joshua Altus, I'm Wesley Outland. Congratulations again to Stephen Paulison, the first-time winner at Daytona and for the Northwest Cup Series. Be good to one another. Enjoy the rest of your week. Hey, thanks for watching.